Good morning, class. My name is Brendan Collins. Today I am going to give an instructional video on how to disassemble and reassemble an AR-15, a military's or a civilian's version of the military's M4. Now, I spent 8.5 years in the Army, and this is something that any soldier knows how to do. Now, first off, this is our AR-15. Now, first thing you want to do is make sure that you have nothing in the chamber. Make sure it's on safe and that there is no round in the weapon. Checking that, nothing. Put it back on safe. Now, first take it apart. You have a pin right here and a pin right here. This will, popping these out, will allow you to take apart the upper and lower receiver. Like so. Now, in the lower receiver, the only real thing that on a beginner's level you'll be able to take apart is the buffer spring. The buffer and the spring. Now, this is your buffer. This is your spring. Take it apart, you have a little pin right here that you just push down and it allows it to pop out. Now, on your upper receiver, you have your charging handle and your bolt assembly. Then you have your hand guards. This little ring right here, you pull down and it'll allow you to take these off. And that's what your upper receiver looks like without the hand grips on. Now, to take apart your bolt assembly, first you have a little pin right here. You can use a pin, your fingernail, which is what I usually use, or whatever you need to get in there and pull this little pin out. Next, you have your firing pin. Now, to get your bolt out, you have this little pin right here. Once you get your firing pin out, it'll be able to turn, and you can pull it right on out. Then, there's your bolt. It's very simple. It's very few little details you have to remember. Now, to put it back in, you just reverse your steps. Bolt assembly. Make sure that the hole that you have, that is in your bolt, is facing up. You take your pin, make sure it's going in sideways. And there. And then you just twist it back. Like so. Next is your firing pin. That'll go right down in there. Like so. Without it falling out. And then your pin. And like so. See? Everything stays in. All nice and hard. Take your upper receiver. Take your charging handle. Now, your charging handle has these two little grooves right there. And there are grooves inside of your upper receiver where that'll slide into, and you can't just pull it out. Make sure that's in there. Then you take your bolt assembly, making sure the bolt is facing towards the barrel and that it is pulled all the way up. Slide it, set it on top of the charging handle, and it'll slide right on it. Next, we're going to put the handguards back on. And you want to make sure that you got the right ones, the top one or the bottom one. Let's make sure I got the right ones. I'm pretty sure that's the top one. So, I just want to go from, put that part in first, and like that, see? And your upper receiver is back together. Now your lower receiver, take your buffer spring, slide it right back in there, and when putting this back in, you really don't have to worry about that little pin. It pushes it down on its own. You take your buffer into the spring, and like I said, you don't have to worry about pushing it down. It moves it out of the way for you. Next, put your upper and lower receiver back together. 1 pin, 2 pins. Pull the charging handle back, and we do a little function check. And we're good. Put it back on safe. And that is it. Disassembling and reassembling your AR-15 or M4, depending on if you're in the military or not. Well, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you next time.